How is everybody doing? Second live stream from Mexico, I believe it is. We had one in Mexico City, and now we are here in paradise in Isla Mujeres. As always, guys, let me know if you can hear me okay, if the visual is okay. We are on an island, keep in mind, you know, we're doing the best we can do as far as signals go. But please let me know in the comments here, because so far I can see Claude. Hello from Montreal. Just want to make sure that everything is updating all right. Brianna, thank you so much for coming out, lovely. Hope you're doing good. Wonderful. Okay, Bob, fantastic. It is great. Well, great. I am happy to be here. Late afternoon, I guess, would be the time here in Mexico. I keep forgetting that I'm more or less on the same time zone as Canada. You know, that usually wasn't the case in my former travels, so it takes a while to kind of adjust of like, where's the majority of my audience of what time zone. So I'm glad we're actually more or less on the same for anybody in North America. Jim, thank you so much for coming out. David, hola, hello. Let's see here. Helper B, thank you very much. We got Kim from China, fantastic. We got somebody from Saskatchewan and Florida, fabulous. Thank you all so much for coming out. So guys, I have a pretty epic walk around tour planned for us today, all around the island. It's not a very big island, but still obviously to walk from one side to the other would literally take, you know, 2 hours, and most of the things that there are to see and do are in the north part, so that's kind of where we're going to be concentrating today. But of course I'm going to show you the beach. The best beaches are in the northern part of the island, so the weather's okay right now, but hopefully it kind of keeps clearing up as we get going. So just before we get started here, I want to say a big thank you to Michael. Hi beautiful, how are you and your family doing? Thank you so much, Michael. Just gonna wait for the golf cart to pass. There's golf carts everywhere here. That is the way that people usually get around the island. So I'm doing great. Thank you, Michael, for asking. If any of you follow me on Instagram, you will see why I am doing great. I had a phenomenal day, like a phenomenal day on the water, going whale shark, well, watching and swimming. I'm gonna have a whole video on it, but it was honestly one of the most, like, you know, special travel experiences I have ever had, because for anybody who's like me and didn't know that whale sharks are actually the largest fish that we have on Earth that are still living. Blue whales are actually considered to be mammals because they give birth to live young, they nurse their young, they have some body hair, and they have lungs which they come up, you know, to get air for. So I did not know that a blue whale is actually considered to be a mammal and not a fish. So whale sharks are the largest fish that they know of, and I got to go swimming with them today. So stay tuned for the video because I don't want to give away all the things that happened, but it was just so epic. I had an amazing time, and that's actually one of the reasons of why Isla Mujeres is famous, is because the aquatic life in this area, especially this time of year, is absolutely spectacular. So amazing day. But my family, thankfully, if you're referring to my family in Ukraine, is, you know, doing all right. They're actually all reunited now in Kiev, which I'm really happy about, because it really turned out that Lviv was not that much safer than, you know, any other part of like the central to western part of the country. Like they were still bombing Lviv. So my cousin Nastya was the last one that was kind of still out there, and just last week she came back. So they're all reunited in Kiev, and even though, you know, every day's you know, up in the air. Nobody knows what's going to happen. At least, you know, things have been quieter in that part of the country, but of course in all the eastern part, like, it's just devastation every single day. So still a very horrible situation, and just, you know, praying for the best, and I'm trying to support them as much as I can. So thank you for asking, and that is, you know, kind of the update on that. Oh, thank you so much to Louise. Hello, Alina. Your mother will visit you in Mexico. Cheers from Brazil. No, actually, I am leaving Mexico this Wednesday. Crazy enough, I'm going back to Canada. It's been 6 months in Latin America, which is nuts. Yeah, I'll actually touch on that later on in the video, but I'll be seeing my mom basically at the end of June, because I'm going to BC to visit some friends first. And then, yeah, I'm going to spend June, July with her, and then go see my dad in Saskatchewan. So it'll be really nice to be back in the homeland, or the second homeland, I should say. So thank you so much. All right, guys, I'm going to keep reading the comments there because I see them, and I want to thank you all for it. But I want to show you the first stop of our tour here. These beautiful creatures I actually got to see in real life yesterday, which will also be in the YouTube video from here. Look at these adorable turtles. Oh my goodness. These guys are very abundant at the southern tip of Isla Mujeres. It's pretty rocky out there, so make sure, you know, you go with a good, you know, diving company if you do end up doing it, and make sure you take an anti-motion sickness pill, because yesterday I hurled 3 times off of the boat. And I greatly regret having coffee as well before I started my tour. So FYI, it's not just, you know, simple snorkeling. You're going out into very deep waters where these guys live, but it was absolutely spectacular to be swimming amongst them. And they are actually super fast, very fast swimmers. So this was kind of the place that I wanted to start our tour, is with the beautiful sea turtles that they have a monument to here. So highly recommend seeing them in real life if you can. And where we are going to head now is this really nice boardwalk on the eastern side of the island. Actually, give me an update, guys. Is the wind super strong? Like, is the audio okay? Because I knew this part would be a little bit choppy, but when we go to the inner part of the town, it shouldn't be so bad. So let me know what it's like. Loud and clear. Okay, it's okay. Okay, good. All right, so yeah, I know it's probably not going to be the best audio, but I just wanted to show you guys this area because it's very pretty. Of course, this is not the beach yet, but it's nice because they've kind of built this whole walkway, and it stretches like a lot as well. So you could actually go for like morning runs or walks here. It's really nice. Just in general, like, Isla Mujeres is a much more relaxed sort of area compared to Cancun, because if you guys have never heard of it, Isla Mujeres is very close to Cancun. It's like a 20-minute ferry ride across the water, so a lot of people even come here for a day trip. I personally would recommend staying overnight just because there is so much to see and do, and I prefer staying in kind of, you know, quieter, not so party kind of areas like Cancun. So Isla Mujeres definitely gets my vote. And I will also tell you guys why this island is called the Island of Women. That is the translation of Isla Mujeres. Mujeres means women in Spanish. So I'll tell you guys that story in just a second. Thank you so much for your lovely comment, Kaleda. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So this gorgeous sculpture of a beautiful naked woman. I think, you know, she's not an obvious mermaid, but you know, it's kind of stretching into that territory as well. She's in a sort of seashell holding up a starfish. Really beautiful. So Isla Mujeres was actually named that by the Spanish in the 16th century because they came to this island and saw all these different sculptures of these different deities of women, and they didn't know, you know, the specifics of, you know, which women it was. They just thought it was women. But in fact, I'm gonna flip the camera here. But in fact, this island was actually dedicated to the Mayan goddess Ixchel, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and she was the goddess of love and fertility. So this was a very sacred place to go to for the Mayans, and they made all these different, you know, sculptures and hieroglyphics and stuff dedicated, you know, to this goddess. So sure, you know, you could say it is just women, but there's obviously a much bigger backstory of why this land was, you know, sacred in the first place. So ever since, it has been called the Island of Women, which I think is a perfect name because it is just such a stunning place. And of course, women, in my opinion, are the most gorgeous creatures on the face of the earth. So it's a very fitting name, and it's definitely a super beautiful place to go if you're, you know, coming to Mexico. I'm actually surprised that from most of the people that I know who've been to Mexico, yeah, very few of them have gone here. I know a few people who have gone here, but not many. You know, it's usually like Cancun, Tulum, Cozumel maybe. Like lots of people told me to go to Cozumel, but I heard really good things about Isla Mujeres, and I figured I'm a woman, I want to go to the Island of Women, so that is how that came about. So let me flip the camera here, guys. Everybody's hanging out here after work, and I'm gonna take you to another cool lookout point over here. One second. All right. And yeah, it's really beautiful that they have these like jagged sort of stones here right on the water as well. If you go to the most southern tip of the island, it's huge cliffs, like huge cliffs of these kinds of rocks, and you get a phenomenal vista of the ocean because you're at the very southern point. So that's another place that I would recommend going if you come here. And of course, you know, I will be featuring all of these places in the main YouTube video that I do of this place. Just want to say a big thank you to Jim and Harriet for the super chat. Thank you guys for coming out as always. Hope you're doing okay. It looks fantastic. We totally agree, Alina. Women have it all. Absolutely, absolutely. Glad you guys agree. There is white sand beaches, Sam. That is what we are going to get to at the end of today's tour. But I thought I would kind of, you know, lead up to that, so that is a sort of grand finale of the live stream, and hopefully it's more of a sunset by that time as well. So here we are. There is a little bit of a beach over here, as you guys can see. There's actually a Alina hostel that's over there, and I was actually considering staying there, but just like Cancun and Tulum, Isla Mujeres is definitely expensive, you know, just because it is so popular with tourists. Staying in my own room that has a shared wall, about $50 US. It's like a mid-range hotel room, nothing special. It's like 100. Sorry about that, I am back. and a whale of an experience earlier in the day. Your 5-star shot of you in your bikini and swimming in the cenotes on your Instagram. Wasn't sure what your 5 stars, but hey, both are obviously true. Well, thank you, Jim. Yeah, it's crazy because I was in Tulum before this, and I went on a cenote tour. For those of you who don't know what a cenote is, it's kind of these naturally formed sinkholes where you can go swimming, and it's like super beautiful turquoise waters. A local actually told me that they were formed by asteroids, like, you know, when the dinosaurs died. They were saying that that's how cenotes were formed in the Yucatan, but I actually haven't read anything about that. I don't know if anybody can verify that, but yes, I was swimming in cenotes, and it was just absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much, Jim. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you for always coming out and supporting. I hope you are doing great, and thank you once again. And thank you once again to Louise. Thank you. I don't want to open a Pandora box, but any preference between beaches of Mexico and Brazil? Thank you. Well, no, it's always hard. You know, I can't exactly choose favorites. Like, obviously, I love both. Like, beaches in Brazil were incredible, and then here in Mexico, they've been great, but technically I haven't seen that many. Like Tulum, unfortunately, is having the seaweed problem, as is most places in the Mayan Riviera this time of year, and I knew that could, you know, be an issue. It definitely was. But here in Isla Mujeres, thankfully, most of the really good beaches are on the western side of the island, and even on this eastern part, there's actually, you know, not a lot of seaweed that has washed on shore, and on the west, like, it's basically clear. So the beach here has been absolutely stunning. I think I would just have to... We're having issues, guys. I hope it doesn't cause too many issues. Let me know if you can see me okay, hear me okay. Maybe I have to move around or so in due time. So guys, let me flip the camera here and show you the lovely Isla Mujeres sign, which everybody is getting their picture with. And then there's here, beautiful woman's face. There, here, big it is. I guess, you know, it is just to kind of bear that tourist weight. But yeah, like I was saying, it is pretty expensive. Like, even if you go to a restaurant, I'd say my average bill, like for a main and a drink, has been like $20 US. You know, it is almost like being back in Canada or USA and stuff. Like, it's not cheap, and even, you know, it's hard to find places that are less expensive in this area. Unfortunately, like if you go to maybe the very southern tip of the island, you'll find more where locals go, but this whole area, that's, you know, the best area to be in, all tailored for tourists, and it's super expensive. So down, girl, my voice echoes in here. Super beautiful. Still choppy, huh? Okay guys, I'm going to go back on the street. Will be better there. Oh, I really hope that the next places I go. Oh, it's so bad. Why? All right, let's hope that it gets area. So as I was saying, yeah, Eastern Europe had amazing connections, did not cost much money, and, you know, I was able to live stream with a fairly stable connection, even in like little towns in different places. Like, it was so great. But, you know, unfortunately, some countries don't have the same technology. So overall, I'd say Mexico has been okay, just for like my regular, you know, kind of. All right. Today is Sunday night, so not as busy. Oh, my audio is missing? What? You guys can't hear me? Can you guys hear me right now? Please let me know in the comments. I hope it is back. Intermittent. Very sad. Well, I apologize, guys. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. I have the best package I can get in Mexico. I'm with Telcel, who's supposed to be the fastest, and you know, I got their highest speed package, all the bells and whistles, and unfortunately, you know, this is just how it goes sometimes. So I hope it will improve as we go, but I will keep going because I really want to show you guys the beach. And thankfully now the weather is also better, so let's just hope for the best. I want to say a very big thank you to can't read your name here, Kalada Lakeda. Thank you so much. You are amazing. Thank you. So are you. I appreciate the support. You guys are so sweet. I'm actually super excited to, technically my next live stream is going to be from Canada, guys. It's probably actually going to be next weekend from Vancouver, which is exciting. Oh, hello to Johanna. Thank you so much for coming out. Fantastic. Yeah, I think it's going to be from Vancouver, because that's the only weekend that I'm going to be in Vancouver. And you know, usually I like to stream on the weekends, so that is the only weekend I would have to do it. So stay tuned if you would like to be live in Vancouver with me. Let me just do a flip here. I'm gonna take you guys on kind of the most busy pedestrian street that they have here. As you can see, the golf carts are very abundant. I don't think they even like ask for driver's licenses for those. I think anybody can actually rent them, for better or worse. Same with scooters. I highly doubt most people have their motorcycle license, but like, you know, same as in Bali or Thailand, people just rent them. And it's not that, you know, they're obviously difficult to operate, but I think you should have some experience before you really go take it on, you know, busy roads or something. I'm gonna go in here. One sec. Thank you so much, Louise. You look really amazing and happy today. Thank you. So here we go, guys. I don't know why these guys are thinking of going down here. Yeah, you can't go down here. So yeah, this is, you know, obviously super touristy, the Stingray, but a really nice place to come hang out. Like, they do have really good seafood here in Isla Mujeres, and the restaurants, you know, are very American and Canadian tourist friendly. Like, all the things that Canadians, Americans like to eat are definitely on the menu here. So, and most people speak English. Like, that's the difference, guys. That's the difference between me going to Colombia and Brazil and then coming to Mexico, is that Colombia and Brazil understandably are tailored to the Spanish speaking tourist. Like, even in Brazil, I would say that quite a few people knew Spanish, or at least, you know, knew enough to kind of get across you know, what people are trying to say. But here in Mexico, obviously the main tourists are Canadians and Americans, so if you go to the main, you know, tourist areas, it's super easy. Like, you know, you'll have no problems. So that's kind of the difference, I would say, from the 3 countries that I've done this past 6 months. Johanna, did you eat a marquesita yet? No, I did not. I actually don't know what that is. There's so many foods that I've tried on my trip, and I'm not sure, you know, what they're all called. So I don't think I've eaten one of those, but maybe I have. Okay, so give you guys another view of the street. Obviously, there are so many places that have all-you-can-eat tacos. All you need is love and tacos. Fair enough. And of course, lots of margaritas with tequila. All of that is in abundance here. And usually, like, even at more mid-range places, it's like you can get, you know, a taco, like let's say just one taco for like $1 or less. Like, it's super inexpensive. When I was in Mexico City, if you guys watched my video, I had like a plate of 5 tacos for basically like $2 or $3 US because I went to a more local place. So, tacos galore. Want to say another big thank you to Jim Ross. Drove past the sign for Hafford going east and west in Saskatchewan and immediately thought of you. Lo and behold, you had this live stream scheduled. Probably Vancouver internet will be about the same. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll for sure be in Hafford again this time when I visit Saskatchewan. So good on you for visiting. Yeah, Luis, actually Brazil don't receive many foreigner tourists like Mexico. Yeah, I mean, Mexico, I don't know like what is the amount of money that it receives every year out of its tourists compared to Brazil. But yeah, Mexico's obviously, you know, a big country for tourism. So thank you once again, both Jim and Luis, for the super chat. Oh my God, that is loud. Skull, I finally catch one of your lives. Hello from Algeria. Thank you so much. All right, guys, let's continue onwards. We got happy hours going on here. 2 for $1 margaritas, daiquiris, pina coladas. Sounds delicious. We've got lots of lovely souvenirs. Oh my God, IPA on taps. That is what Europe lacked, or at least the Balkans. It was so hard to ever find an IPA, so fantastic that they have that here. Actually, there's supposed to be a local craft brewery kind of in the southern part of the island. So I'll actually have to try some of the craft beer that they have here on Isla Mujeres. Hola. No, Benny, I did not try grasshoppers. I'm not sure if that's really for me. Got shisha here. We got Asia, Caribe, Thai, sushi, Chinese. They got everything here. Actually, has anybody in the comments been here? Has anybody been to Isla Mujeres that's joining us right now? Because if you've been to Cancun, it is super close. Keep that in mind if you do visit Mexico. Oh, Benny, you've been. Nice. Last week. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, it's interesting because at first I was like, oh, you know, why would anybody visit Mexico, you know, this time of year? Because it is starting to get, you know, quite hot in certain places. When I was in Valladolid, I could not function during the day. Hello. Hello. Oh, that's so cool. I'm live streaming right now. No. You can say hi to the viewers.
Hola, how are you? Nice to meet you down in I'm excited.
What's your name?
Andy.
Andy, nice to meet you.
Olivia.
Amazing. Well, that's another country I got to add to my travels. Yeah.
You were at the carnival.
Yes.
City.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Oh,
Yeah, I'm loving it. Today I went whale shark swimming.
Oh, wow.
It was so cool. Yeah.
How long are you staying here?
Oh, I'm leaving in 2 days, so I'm actually at the tail end now. Oh, nice. We'll be going there for I guess the last part of the video is I'll give them a tour of the beaches, so that'll be nice. Yeah. Nice. Is this your first time here, or you've been here multiple times?
I've been here well, when I come to Cancun,
Yeah.
I stay in Cancun, I come to
Yeah, yeah,
and you're 5 minutes away from everything. Beach, restaurants, hotels.
totally.
You don't need a vehicle.
Yeah,
Ferry,
oh, ball,
down the
yeah,
street.
exactly.
Yeah, I usually come here. My friend lives here in Cancun, so I get to spend
Nice, nice. Well, nice to meet you, and thank you so much for
Nice to
saying
meet you
hi.
too.
Take
Yeah,
care.
you're welcome.
Bye. Aw, that's so lovely. And yeah, please, guys, if you ever see me on the streets, unless I'm on a date or something, you definitely come say hi. Oh, we got another live stream here. See you. Ciao. So nice. Oh, want to say a big thank you to the super chat that I missed from Kelada once again. Thank you so much. That is so sweet of you. And once again to Louise, thank you so much. Do you communicate with locals in Spanish? I do a little bit, like I'll be honest and say I'm having issues forming sentences, but I understand, you know, when somebody's speaking to me, and if I hear key words, I can kind of get the gist of what they said. That's been getting better. And also, you know, I know, like I said, key words, so I can kind of, in my very broken Spanish, get across what I'm trying to do if it's at like a restaurant or something like that. Restaurants are definitely the easiest places for me. Hello. But, you know, I'm trying to get better. So, yes. So thank you guys so much for the super chat. I'm glad the connection is getting better. It's definitely better now. So this is actually a pretty cool looking shop. I don't know, is this a tattoo shop or what is this? Very cool. Or golf carts, more golf carts. All right, so let's continue on here. Now, I don't want to, hola. Now, I don't want to jinx it, guys, but I will say that Isla Mujeres is definitely the place that I've been to in my whole trip, almost, I can say, in Latin America, where I have felt, you know, just totally relaxed, like very safe. I mean, there's been other places too in both Colombia and Brazil that are super chill, but even like here in Mexico, like Valladolid, I would say was super chill. I would have, you know, live streamed there as well and not given it another thought. But here in Isla Mujeres, like, as you guys can see, it's super laid back. You know, everybody has their phones out. There is police here, but you know, I don't really ever see them like, you know, having to do something more or less. And you know, there's so many tourists and I haven't heard of any negative experiences from anyone. So if you're looking for a very safe, very laid back place to go, like, this is as good as it gets. So it's nice to be able to live stream and not like constantly be looking over my shoulder and, you know, feeling really uneasy while I'm doing it. So, you know, I don't want to say that and then, I don't know, for some crazy reason something happens, but just with my experience so far, I will say that this is a super safe, super laid back sort of place, which is definitely nice. Let me give you guys another view here. Aw. Thank you so much to SFC Paul Fowl. Thank you for coming out as always. Alina, my friend, trust that you are doing well and enjoying your videos from Mexico. Thank you so much, Paul. Really appreciate it and hope you're having a great day. Always nice to see the regulars at my live streams. So, we are almost at the end of this main pedestrian street, and then we are going to go down the main kind of traffic drag where there is the ferry port and kind of the beachside restaurants, and then we will go onto the beach itself. So just finish off this lovely street. Overall, I would say, like, if you are, you know, coming to stay here, I personally would not recommend staying in the South Island unless you did get like some kind of really good deal for a waterside resort, because you will then almost for sure have to get, you know, some kind of transport every single day to get to this part of the island, and there's just not as much, you know, around in those areas. So if you guys want a suggestion of where to stay, I would definitely say stay in this part here in the North Island, because everything is more or less walkable then. And then just for like one day you could rent a golf cart or a scooter or something and go see what's, you know, in the south. But for the majority of the time, I would say it's better to be here. Let's see here. Just reading your comments here, guys. Hello to Val from New Brunswick. Very cool. Thank you so much for the super chat, Louise. Yes, there's a lot of places to eat here. Huge amount of restaurants, and it's also nice because there's a fairly large like variety, you know, it's not just Mexican food, there's even Asian food as we saw, and lots of other kinds of international cuisines as well. Over here we have a little church, which I'll show you guys before we get to in the main drag. What I will say though, actually, on the topic of you know, SIM cards and internet in different places, is that while sure maybe Mexico doesn't have the fastest internet speeds, to get a SIM card here is super freaking easy. Like, you don't even need ID, no nothing, they just pop it in, you're good to go. I wouldn't say prices are like the cheapest that I've seen, but for example, like how much did I get? Let's say 6 gigabytes and unlimited, you know, everything else, unlimited social media, which is great, like unlimited Instagram, Twitter, you know, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. All of that for about $25 US. So not cheap in compared to Eastern Europe or maybe Southeast Asia, but obviously way better than North America. Well, I mean, Mexico's technically North America too, I guess, but better than Canada and USA. So that's a comparison on that. And actually, before I even started my live stream, I was getting low on data, so I went and got 2 more gigabytes. Cost like, I don't know, $7 or something like that, or five US. And she was able to do it in like 5 minutes. And I'm like, fantastic. Like, I hate when I go to countries and it's like you're asking them to do the most complicated thing by giving you like a SIM card or like, you know, adding more data to it. Even in Canada, they make it so difficult to add more to your plan halfway through. I had like a 2-hour chat with Belle the last time that I was in Canada because they were being so difficult. And I'm like, it's such a simple thing. Like, why aren't you guys, you know, having a more streamlined process for all of this? So I will give Mexico points for making it easy to get a SIM card for foreigners and to like load more data on there. It's really good. All right. Some more souvenir shops here. The other interesting thing that is kind of, I've only seen in Mexico, in the tourist places, like Isla Mujeres, is look, the first price that it gives you is in US dollars. 2 for 20 USD, and then in little numbers, it's 420 pesos. That's when you know you're in a place that's tailored to tourism, right? It's like, so you don't have to do the conversion, it's already done for you. And I believe you can actually pay in US dollars, you know, at the shop as well, which I find interesting. So definitely tailored to the tourists from the United States. Let's see here. Aw. Thank you so much to Katsu, so kind of you. Thank you for sharing comfy time. Have you heard mariachi bands any place in Mexico? That's a good question, because I was actually supposed to go to a proper show when I was in Mexico City, but I ended up not feeling well, so I didn't go to that. But I think I kind of heard a little bit in a restaurant, which was nice because it is, you know, very distinct to Mexico. I'd love to hear more. A little louder. So thank you so much, Katsu. Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. Paul, I saw your super chat from before. I don't see a new one there, but let's see here. Yeah, I just see the one there, Paul, but thank you so much if there was a second one there. Thank you very much. And yeah, guys, let me know if I ever do miss a super chat, because sometimes, I don't know, there are glitches on my end where I can't always have them go through, or the chat moves so quickly that I miss it. So let me know if I ever miss a super chat. I'm gonna answer Johanna's question as we walk here. So she says, Ali, what kind of souvenirs do you buy when you travel, or you don't buy any? That's a good question, because back when I was traveling, you know, before my YouTube channel, I would buy so many souvenirs. Probably too many souvenirs that, you know, would just sit there picking up dust. But, you know, it's nice to have like memories of different places. But ever since I've done this as a job, and I'm, you know, away from Canada for half a year at a time, and also I don't have my own apartment right now, right? It's like I'm using my mom's place as storage, which isn't really big, and I don't want to burden her with all that stuff. So now overall I don't buy knickknack sort of souvenirs and nothing too big, and instead I buy things from, you know, the places I visit that I know I'll actually use. Like, for example, when I was in Greece, I bought like a really nice pair of sunglasses that are actually made, you know, in Greece. And in Colombia, I bought really cool bathing suits and, you know, clothes that are made in Colombia. So those are kind of, you know, the souvenirs that I buy now, is stuff that, sure, I'll have a memory of being in that place with, but that I'll actually utilize at the same time. So that is the answer to that question. So as you guys can see just across the way, if this truck wasn't there, this is all the ferry terminal area, and all the boats actually that come here can park in this area if you have like snorkeling or scuba diving or something. And it's interesting because I bought a round trip ferry ticket, and all I said to her was like round trip, and I thought I would have to give her like the date and time that I want to, you know, go back on. But I guess it doesn't matter. You just have to like line up in there, and you know, you can use the ticket whenever, and they go every 30 minutes. The only thing to keep in mind is that all the people usually come here for a day trip, meaning there's going to be a whole bunch of traffic, like probably, you know, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or whatever, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of traffic in this area leaving at like 5 to 7, kind of like rush hour traffic. So like I said before, I think it's better to actually come here and stay overnight, so you get a better experience and also see the island when it's fairly empty in the mornings and the evenings. But if you're coming for a day trip, keep in mind you're gonna have to like stand there and queue sometimes for a whole hour if it's super busy. So FYI. All right, let's continue on this way, and then at the end here we will start going on the beaches. Yes, Ukraine, dude, you are correct. It's funny that you remember that story. So yes, those sunglasses that I said I loved so much that I got in Greece, unfortunately, when I was in Thailand, I was wearing them when, you know, I just went into the water. I wasn't even planning on like swimming, but I got hit by such a big wave with undertow that I literally did a flip and it just, you know, took them off my face and they were gone. And I waited, you know, by the shore hoping that, oh, maybe they're gonna swim up. Maybe I'll get them back, but nope. Nope, they were eaten up in the water. So unfortunately that souvenir is long gone for me. All right, so we can get across here. And yes, I do love my collection of hats. A turtle is wearing them, yes. Hola. Aw, thank you so much for coming out, Michael. Thank you. Hope you're doing good and Alana's doing good. Oh. A very big thank you to Rahul. Thank you so much for these super chats. Oh, that is a terrible sound. Jeez Louise. Thank you so much, Rahul. Absolutely loved following your underwater excursions this week, especially the one today with the whale shark. Super psyched for the YouTube videos. Enjoy the rest of your time in Mexico. Thank you so much, Rahul. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. And yeah, I'm gonna have Chichen Itza out, I think late on Monday, because the issue here is that the internet, yeah, isn't great, so I can't upload videos. I'm gonna have to wait until I'm back in Cancun. But Chichen Itza will be this next week, and then the next week after that is going to be Tulum. So many videos to come. I hope you enjoy them. And as I already wished you a happy birthday a couple days ago, happy belated birthday once again to Rahul. Thank you so much for always coming out and supporting my live streams, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Let me flip here, guys. We're getting closer and closer to the beach. And actually perfect timing. It's like 15 minutes in so far. So I think we'll walk down the beach for 15-20 minutes, and that will be the perfect amount of time to not go over the allotted data that I have purchased for this live stream. All right. Let me actually get across here while there's no traffic. Here. Oh, I remember what I actually wanted to mention to you guys. I started, I think, talking about it, but got derailed or distracted. I wanted to say that at first I didn't understand, you know, why people would really come to Mexico in this time of year, just because it is, you know, so hot out in most places. And actually, I would say that Isla Mujeres, this is the best possible time you could come here if you're interested in going snorkeling or diving with like the turtles and the whale sharks specifically, because the turtles are kind of in their mating season right now. Literally, you know, see them getting it on as you go swimming with them, and then, you know, there's going to be all the little babies and their eggs will hatch. So this is actually a great time to come for the turtles. And then whale shark swimming season technically starts the 1st of June, but since we are the last days of May, they had said, you know, there's a very high chance that we should be able to see some. So that's why I decided to go ahead with the tour. So, you know, if you came here in like December and January, from my understanding, 100% you wouldn't see the whale sharks, and with the turtles there would be a lot less. So if you're interested in those two things, this is technically the best time of the year to come here. If you are coming in the more winter months, I would say that's a good time to go to the other Riviera Maya destinations, because you're not going to have the seaweed problem that it's currently having. Well, guys, we made it to the beach, and before we really explore it, I want to say a big thank you once again to Jim Ross. Since you haven't been able to take your straw hats with you as you go from country to country, how do you find so many that just work for you? Do you leave them behind or what? Thank you so much, Jim. So the one that I had in Cartagena, right? That was, I think, the last hat that I had. I don't know what I did with it. I don't know if I left it behind somewhere or somebody took it in a hostel or something. Because I remember just suddenly being somewhere and being like, where's my hat? And I couldn't find it. So that disappeared somewhere, but not the biggest loss. They're usually only about $10 or something. But the new one that I got in Valladolid from like the nicest lady. I wanted to buy from her just because she was like the nicest person ever. And I think that hat too was like $10 or $12, but they're really good quality. So that is where I get my hats. I don't know if I'm gonna bring it with me to Vancouver. I think I'm gonna look a little out of place, to be honest, wearing it. But yeah, so thank you, Jim. Oh, I'm starting to sweat here. Even though today's like a cooler day, you can still really feel the humidity. Okay, guys, we are on the beach, the start of the beach, and this isn't even the nicest part yet, but I thought we would start at one end and slowly make our way to the other. So yeah, this is still, quite a few people on the beach because this isn't really the last call yet for the ferry. I don't know if you guys can see the line. Let's actually go over here and I'll show you. Because there's also a lot of like day trip boats, like the smaller boats that you see, those are like private tours that people will go on. That's not the main ferry. This line is for, like the smaller boats, and then further on out is the main Ultramar ferry station. And those ferries are like huge and can carry, I don't know, 400, 500 people. But even still, you sometimes might have to wait for like a second boat if the line is too long. So it's about 6 o'clock right now, so in the next hour this place will definitely get fewer and fewer people. So let's walk down the beach here. As you can see, it is just perfection. Like white, clean sand, no seaweed here. Which honestly, I expected even a little bit. Because I don't know, just how Tulum could have been as bad as it was. Like, it was horrendous. Like, I went into the water on the best day when we went snorkeling. Oh, I don't want to get my feet wet. And it was bad. And then the next days after that, like, you couldn't even go in. It was just like disgusting, and just these huge piles. Oh no. Oh no, copywritten music. I have to keep talking so it doesn't flag it, and then I can't monetize it. Okay, hopefully we're out of the range of the copywritten music. Yeah, so Tulum was like horrible for the beach. So I'm surprised that here in Isla Mujeres it is that clear. And just like look at the color of the water too, right? Like it's just turquoise blue, super clean, and a really good temperature too. Like even when we were swimming with the whale sharks today, like we're literally in the middle of the ocean. We had to go in the boat super fast for basically an hour to get to the place where the whale sharks are usually hanging out. And I was suddenly, what are these guys doing? Oh wow, what t-shirt contest. So sexy. So yeah, I actually just had the thought as we were approaching there, I'm like, oh shoot, like it's gonna be so cold. Like we're in the middle of the ocean, right? And some people had actually brought, you know, wetsuits. So I was like, oh man, am I gonna be just like freezing in the water? Because we were also there in the early morning. But surprisingly, it really wasn't cold at all. Like, you know, a little bit colder than room temperature, obviously, but not at all cold. So very surprising just how warm the water is here. Very nice. Todd says, I wonder if those net barriers are keeping out the seaweed for this beach. From my understanding, no. Like, this is just an area that doesn't get as much of it. Like, it's more in the southern part of the Mayan Riviera, where I think the seaweed, like they said, is coming up from the south. So it's kind of the first place to hit Mexico. So in the north here, since we're like right at the tip of Cancun on the peninsula, I guess it just doesn't reach this area. And this is a west facing beach. The east is over there, so if the seaweed came, it'd be more on that side. This side is much more clear, which is nice. So definitely, if you're thinking of coming to Mexico during the summer months and you want a beach experience, Isla Mujeres and Cozumel are definitely your best bets. I would not spend the time or money to go to, you know, Playa del Carmen, or, you know, even though I went to Tulum at that time of year, I wouldn't go again in that season. I just think there's better places, and honestly, their prices were not as low as I felt they should be for having that kind of problem. Like, you can stay in much better places for a fraction of the cost. See here. John asks, how long have you been staying in Isla? I did a day trip from Playa del Carmen a year ago. Yeah, I mean, day trips are awesome. Like, you can still see a lot in a day, but I'd say, you know, spend at least a minimum of 2 nights. Like, if you actually want to go snorkeling or whale watching, which takes a half day, and they only leave super early in the morning. So I'd say 2 nights would be ideal, but I've been here, I think 3 days now. 3 nights, I mean, and I'll be here for 2 more nights. So I just have to stay longer because I'm filming as well. All the big sailboats coming out. This beach is actually a bit quieter. Nicola asks, which part of Mexico is Isla de Mujeres located? So this is, I think the name of the state is Quintana Roo, right? Cancun is in Quintana Roo province or state. It's at the very tip of the peninsula right near Cancun. All right, and then over here, yeah, Quintana Roo. On this side, you'll start seeing the different beach clubs that they have. Like, if you come here during the day, they're definitely like a lot busier. But here at night, obviously, they're starting to shut everything down. Actually, let's walk over here. Aw. Thank you so much, Oscar. My pleasure. Michael asks, are those boats private owned or rental? Do you know? I mean, it's going to be a mix of both. Like, those ones, I'm pretty sure it says Cancun Sailing. So those are like tour operators. Oh, I'm not going to be able to go down here. Yeah, so there's a lot of tour operators that bring people here for the day trips. But there's definitely private yachts as well. Like today when we were whale watching and we came to dock, there was some huge yachts that definitely looked like they were privately owned. So there's a mix of both. Some nice music going on. And what else is cool here is there's a whole bunch of these kind of areas where they have like massages right on the beach, which is great. Hello. And it's actually not too expensive. I actually expected it to be more expensive here, but you can get like an hour-long massage for about like $40 US. I feel like that's overall reasonable and right on the beach. So that's another cool thing you can do. See here. Slowly but surely the crowds are getting less and less. This beach has a really nice kind of I don't know what you call it, proper terminology, but this beach is one of my favorites here. In the mornings I like to come out here and go for a walk to wake myself up. I've actually had to get up at basically 6:30 every single morning just because my 2 boating tours started really early in the morning, and usually I have to like film an intro before things get started and all that jazz. So I have been an early bird in the last few days. Yeah, there might actually be, I'm answering actually Brianna's question there, a storm is not far off. Yeah, there's a chance of rain tomorrow and the next day. So I was very lucky that I got to go out on the boat the last few days because the weather has been fantastic. But in the next few days there very well could be some rain. This is so beautiful. Oh yeah, the water's actually high. If I remember correctly, like just a couple days ago, this sand extended all the way out here. So just in a day, the water levels have definitely risen. But look how beautiful, guys. It's just magic. Oh no, copywritten Nirvana music. I'm like 99% sure this video is going to get copywritten flagged, but it is what it is. Oh man. One thing that's actually been surprising to me, maybe any Mexicans that are in the chat can answer this for me, is you see like that guy going in, you know, with the beer. I think those guys are standing over there, you know, drinking a beer in the water. Totally normal and acceptable in my mind. But I heard that it's illegal to drink, you know, in public in Mexico. And some friends of mine actually got stopped in Mexico City for having like a beer on the Oh, okay, I still want to keep going. We actually don't have that much more beach left. So let's keep on going and hope it's better. But yeah, I have a question about, yeah, drinking on the streets in Mexico. Let me know. But want to say a very big thank you to Martin B, as always, for coming out. Thank you so much, Michael, for coming out and supporting. I love the sky. It's pretty spectacular in the evening light. Thanks for the tour. My pleasure, Martin. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. I think somebody actually answered the question. Manuel says, yes, that is actually a rule in Mexico, but touristic places are an exception. Okay, because yeah, I was wondering, I'm like, you know, I thought that they kind of cracked down on that sort of thing, but at the same time, like, you know, this is a resort kind of area, so it's not the same of like getting drunk, you know, on Reforma Avenue or something in Mexico City. So I guess it is what it is. But keep in mind, guys, yeah, you can't walk around everywhere in Mexico and have your beer. You might be stopped by the cops. Look how pretty this is. Oh my goodness. Just the color of the water, right? The color of the water just makes you want to get in, go snorkeling, go kayaking, go on a catamaran. So beautiful. And actually the best place to watch the sunrise, if you get a chance, is the most southern point of the island. There's literally like a plaque that says the best sunset spot in all of Isla Mujeres. So if you happen to be in that area in the mornings here, definitely go check that out. It's supposed to be spectacular. For me, that's probably not going to happen because I'm not going to rent a golf cart and it takes me 40 minutes to go on a regular bike. So maybe another time, if I come here and have transit, I would go see that. Aw. Thank you once again to Harriet and Jim for the super chat. Do you have plans after Canada? You guys are in my Patreon. I think you already know what my next plans are. If you guys didn't know, I do have a Patreon if you would like to support the channel on a monthly basis. And I also have, you know, different tiers with extra benefits, such as telling you guys my plans earlier than everybody else. So it is actually a secret right now for the general audience, just because even though I'm fairly certain I'm gonna go to this place, it's still, you know, 2 to 3 months away. So anything can happen, as we've learned in this world. So I don't want to speak too soon and say for sure I'm going to this place and then, you know, something comes up. But on my Patreon, my latest video tells you exactly where I'm going next, guys. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you for not saying a word. I appreciate that. Thank you very much once again to Louise. Thank you. Even cloudy is a nice landscape. Yeah, even with the clouds, it's super beautiful. Let me give you guys another view here. I think tomorrow, if there's really nice weather, just because I have filmed the majority of what I wanted to film, I think I am gonna come here as early as possible in the morning and get one of the front row sunbeds and have a bit of a beach day. Just because when I came here about 2 days ago, I, you know, had some work I had to do in the morning, and by the time that I got here, I was like 5 rows back, like everything up here was already taken. So maybe tomorrow morning I can come here, lay right by the water, go swimming, order some guacamole, drink a margarita, live my best life. That would be really nice. Usually the way it works, you know, just so you guys know, with, you know, the sunbeds and the beach clubs, not only here, but most places that I've been to in Latin America, I guess, is usually you just have to have like a minimum spend, you know, with places, and each place kind of has their own price. Like this, no, one place over I stayed last time had a minimum spend of $20 US. So pretty reasonable, you know, you just get like a main and a drink or something and you're good. But some places, as long as you just get like something to eat or drink, they kind of don't care. But in Tulum, actually be super careful, because there they have super, you know, ritzy hotels with beach clubs. And there was the one place that I went to, thankfully I ate at the restaurant, not the beach club, but that place had a minimum spend of $100 US. And if I'm being completely honest, their beach club like wasn't even that nice looking, and the beach is unusable. I'm like, why in the world would anybody spend $100 US to just sit on this little plot of sand and not be able to use the beach? Like, that was very odd to me. So just be careful in Tulum. Most other places that I've been to in Mexico don't have that high minimum spends, but there, yeah, You have to spend at least 100. Some places I heard even 300, which is outrageous. So that's that. Just reading your comments here, guys. Give you another view of the water. Thank you very much, Hugh. Antonio asks, do you intend to go to Durango? I don't even know where that is. Somebody want to tell me where that is? I don't think I've ever heard that name. Thank you very much to Thera Vet. Good to see you again. Cheers from Thailand. I miss Thailand. Had such a good time there. Oh my gosh, that dog is cute. So cute. So now, guys, we are getting to the most northern beach, Playa Norte. Durango is in Mexico. Interesting. I'll have to look it up. I've never heard of that name. But no, I'm not going there on this trip because on Wednesday I'm leaving back to Canada. And I'm so grateful. Let me say this as I turn the camera on myself. Oh my God, don't want to get hit by volleyball. I want to say that I am so grateful that I think it's been 2 or 3 months now, or maybe even more, that Canada has finally removed its PCR test before entry for vaccinated travelers. Hallelujah. Hallelujah for not having to spend an extra minimum $100 or sometimes even $150, $200 to do this frickin' test to get back to my own home country. I'm very happy about that. So I think all I technically have to do is just fill in the ArriveCan app before I leave. I think that's actually the only thing that you have to do nowadays. So FYI, if you're Canadian and traveling. Let's see here, just reading your comments, guys. Yes, I agree, Jim. You do need tourist days sometimes. Yes, Claude, ArriveCan is still used. Ramon asks, have you been to the land down under or Australia? Yes, I have. Oh, that bird flew really close. I was in Australia, New Zealand over a decade ago now. I was 19 years old when I went to Australia and New Zealand. Had an amazing time. Would definitely go back. And I guess now they've more or less like let go of like the craziness they had as far as like COVID restrictions go. They're not arresting grandmas, you know, on the streets without masks anymore. Happy to hear it. But yeah, I'm probably not going to be going to Australia or New Zealand anytime soon. I have, you know, some other places that I haven't visited that I'd prefer to go first. But I loved my time in both Australia and New Zealand. Like, beautiful countries, amazing people, the nature is outstanding. So 100% I would go back. Let me flip here. Yes, it is nice that Mexico is not too far from Canada, so you can come back later. Yeah, like, I mean, this is definitely one of the reasons why Canadians and Americans come to Mexico, is because there's so many direct flights from so many different major cities in both countries, and usually they're fairly inexpensive. Like, actually, what did I pay for my flight from Cancun to Vancouver, transferring through Calgary? I think I paid 300. Yeah, I paid 300 Canadian dollars, which is about $250 US. And sometimes I hear it's even less. Oh my gosh, this is new. This is the first seaweed that I am seeing here, guys. That is surprising because, yeah, the rest of the beaches were absolutely beautiful, but yep, there is some seaweed here, so it's not absolutely perfect, but still about 100 times better than Tulum was. So I did not see that the last time I walked down here. It can actually change from day to day also, just so you know. Before you come to any place in Mexico, it would be a good idea to maybe like message your hotel, you know, a few days in advance and just ask them what the conditions have been, because it definitely ranges on a daily basis with the seaweed situation. Jim and Harriet and Yuki asks, how are your cousins doing in Ukraine? Well, first of all, thank you for asking. I mean, you know, only they can speak for themselves, but just, you know, from when I have talked to them, like, you know, they are being very brave through it all and, you know, doing the best they can in that situation. It's just, you know, tricky because basically all schooling has been more or less paused, and, you know, most people who had jobs, you know, their jobs aren't going as normal anymore. And like my cousin Nastya, she actually would do like seasonal work for this canoe kayak center in Kiev, but obviously I don't know if it's going to be working this summer with how things are going. So they're both, you know, managing the best they can, but obviously it's like a traumatizing thing to go through no matter what age you are. So, you know, I hope that in time they'll be able to process this whole situation and hopefully not affect them, you know, on a really bad emotional level. So that's kind of the update on that. Big thank you to Michael for the super chat. We'll catch you up with you with more when the holiday is over. Payments are delayed because of my bank situation here. Love the beach you are on. Thank you so much, Michael. That is so sweet of you. I hope you and Alana are doing good and staying safe. I know you guys have obviously been through it with this whole situation as well, so thank you so much. Thank you to Louise once again. Are there any restrictions about COVID in Mexico right now? There's none to get in, if that's what you mean. You don't need any, like, you don't need to show vaccine, you don't need a PCR test, you don't need nothing to get into Mexico, which is nice. But actually in Mexico, there are some places that require like a mask still. And it's really on a place by place basis. Like even here in Isla Mujeres, most of the businesses don't ask for one. The people working there aren't wearing one. The people, you know, the customers aren't wearing one. But then there's some businesses who do. So, you know, just be understanding that if somebody wants you to wear a mask, just wear a mask. But overall, I'd say it's fairly lax. Like, it's definitely not strict by any stretch. So that is that. Let me give you guys another view. And we are coming to the end here. I think this is actually kind of the end of Playa Norte, the northern beach. So we'll finish up with the live stream in a couple minutes here. But absolutely gorgeous. And if I can knock on wood, the internet connection has been a bit better now. So hopefully it stays. Oh, want to just bounce off of Jim's comment there. Have you extended your fundraiser with Razam? I thought it was linked on your last video. So guys, first of all, yes, I had a fundraiser for Razam for Ukraine that I had over a 2-month span, and we were able to raise $5,789, I think is the exact figure, which is absolutely phenomenal. Like, that is a lot of money. So thank you to everyone who has donated. I did have a goal of doing, you know, 10,000, but that's, you know, a fairly large goal. So the reason I haven't done another one is just because I'm seeing, you know, if there is a better way, you know, to get money directly, you know, to the people there. Because while I think what Razam for Ukraine does is, you know, pretty much the best out of all the big charities, out of all the big places that I could link a fundraiser to. It's still not, you know, putting money in people's pockets who are out of work right now, who do really need to go buy food and, you know, just look after themselves in this time. So I'm gonna do a bit more research to see if there's a way that I can have, you know, a fundraiser that does more of that instead of to a big charity. So I'll keep you guys updated with that. But thank you so much to everybody who did donate to Razom for Ukraine, because I do think, you know, it is a really good organization and they do actually have people on the ground, you know, helping with emergency aid right now. Whereas, you know, if you send to Red Cross or UNICEF, like, of course, you know, they do good work too, but of course that money is split amongst a lot of different countries, and obviously some bigger charities have some questionable ethics and how they spend the money. So of course you kind of got to be careful when, you know, you're choosing who to send your money to. So once I kind of figure out a better way to, you know, donate to people, I will let you guys know about it. But basically, like, if you know of anybody personally who's in Ukraine right now and, you know, who could use some extra cash, the best thing you can do is just send it to them directly. Like, that's the best way that you can actually help Ukrainians, is by sending to them directly with as few bank fees as possible. I use a system called wise.com. I don't know if I have it linked automatically in this description, but if you go back to some of my older videos that had the fundraiser, I also have a affiliate link for Wise that will give you your first transfer free or something like that. So that's the way that I've been sending money to my family in Ukraine. And to send, like, let's say $200 or $300 only costs like four Canadian dollars. So it's by far the lowest fees compared to like a bank transfer or what's the really popular one, Western Union. It's much cheaper than Western Union. So yeah, if you guys know of anybody in Ukraine, please just send them the money directly. That's way better than sending it to any kind of big charity. Rant over. All right. All right, guys, we are going to end it off here in paradise in Isla Mujeres, the island of women. Such a beautiful place. Highly recommend coming here if you're in Mexico and get the chance. Definitely try and, you know, come when it is turtle and whale shark season. 100% worth it in my opinion, and you guys will get front row seats to the action in the videos when they come out. So stay tuned. Want to say a big thank you to Katsu for the super chat here at the end. Enjoy tasty foods, drinks, and hammock snap. We'll reopen the gateway for foreign visitors near the future, Alina. Thank you so much, Katsu. I really appreciate your support. And yeah, I hope by this next year travel will be back to normal everywhere. Because obviously there's still some countries that are closed to tourism or have a lot of hoops to jump through. So hopefully we can all be traveling like normal by next year. So thank you so much for your support. And another big thank you to Michael for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And I hope, oh, and another one, Kalada, thank you so much once again. Drink on me because I didn't see you taking a sip while walking all the way. Get some drink before you get dehydrated. Good night. Thank you, I definitely will. And it is true that you lose a lot of water when you're walking out here in the humidity. So that is the first thing that I am going to do. So thank you so much. Thank you all for coming out. I hope you enjoyed these spectacular views. We'll give you another shot of the turquoise waters here. It is definitely paradise. So sending you guys lots of love. Have a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye, guys.